Hello, and thank you for joining me on 8. I am Maggie, and we are on day 71 of the Momentum Challenge with heart and mind aligned. And we are just blowing it up with loving waves of intensity. So today is day 71 of the Momentum Challenge, and we are just ramping up to every great and wonderful thing. So we've been doing the complete works of Florence Shinn, and we just finished the Law of Prosperity. So we're reading the chapter, then we're rereading the chapter, and then I'm breaking it down into points, and you can then pull on a point like you would a wand and cast your spell. So may it be a good one. All right, we're starting today, the power of the word. By thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. A person knowing the power of the word becomes very careful about his conversations. He has only to watch the reactions of his words to know that they do not return void. So remember in the last chapter we talked about that scripture from Isaiah. Isaiah said, "My word shall not return unto me void, but shall accomplish that whereunto it is sent." So we have sent our words out and it will not return to us void. So we are being relayed with this, marinating spiritually. So he has only to watch the reaction of his words to know that they do not return void. So through his spoken word, man is continually making laws for himself. That's what we want to watch, what we're speaking, right? What are we saying? What kind of gospel spelling are we putting out there, right? What kind of energy, frequency, and vibration are we speaking into existence? So here we are, story. I knew a man who said, "I always miss a car. Its error inevitably pulls out just as I arrive." His daughter says, "I always catch a car. It's sure to come just as I get there." So are you the man or are you the girl? The daughter. Okay, this occurred for years. Each had made a separate law for himself, one of failure and one of success. This is the psychology of superstitions. Okay, so which one are you? Are you speaking the law of failure or are you speaking the law of success? And the great thing about it, 3, 2, 1, boom, is that whenever you decide that you're going to change and you're going to pivot and you're going to walk in a new direction, if you are walking in the direction of the law of failure, you can just pivot and start walking in the direction of the law of success. And that's what we shall be doing. So a horseshoe or a rabbit's foot contains no power, but man's spoken word and belief that it will bring him good luck creates expectancy in the subconscious mind and attracts a lucky situation. So if you remember the movie Dumbo, right? He gives him the feather, and Dumbo believes in the feather that it's magical, and so Dumbo flies, but eventually learns that he has the power all along. Okay, I know you can call Dumbo whatever you want, but a lot of us in lots of ways have gone through our life in certain situations where we were the Dumbo and we became the smart-o because we learned to believe and understand and know that God lives within us and that the power was with us all along. Same thing like Harry Potter, looking all around for the Sorcerer's Stone. And in that one moment when he was so brave, he immediately sees it in the mirror and realizes he had it all along. That is us. That is you. That is me. That is us. We are one. So, okay. I find, however, this will not work when man has advanced spiritually and knows of higher law. This is right. So this can get a man or a woman to a certain point, but then actually when you start evolving more, you start to realize you are the first cause and it is all you. So anyway, one cannot turn back and must put away graven images. For example, story. 2 men in my class had had great success in business for several months when suddenly everything went smash. He tried to analyze the situation, and we tried to analyze the situation, and I found instead of making their affirmations and looking to God for success and prosperity, they had each bought Lucky Monkey. I said, "Oh, I see. You have trusted in the lucky monkeys instead of God. Put away the lucky monkeys and call on the law of forgiveness. For man has power to forgive and neutralize his mistakes." Are you listening to that? We have the power to forgive and to neutralize our mistakes. So they decided to throw the lucky monkeys down a coal hole, and all went well. This does not mean, however, that one should throw away every lucky ornament or horseshoe about the house. But he must recognize that the power back of it, the power in back of it is the one and only power, God, in that the object simply gives him the feeling of expectancy, right? So it gives you, sometimes that feather or that stone gives you the faith to carry on. Nothing wrong with encouragement, ever. Okay, so I was with a friend one day who was in deep despair in crossing the street, and she picked up a horseshoe, and immediately she was filled with joy and hope. She said God had sent her the horseshoe in order to keep up her courage. It was indeed at that moment about the only thing that could have registered in her consciousness. Her hope became faith, and she ultimately made a wondrous demonstration. I wish to make the point clear that the men previously mentioned were depending on the monkeys alone, while this woman recognized the power that backed the horseshoe. So, nothing against monkeys. We love our monkeys. I am a monkey. And we love our monkeys. But we know the power of the monkey isn't what's going to do it. It is the power of God backing this monkey. Okay. I know in my own case, it took a long while to get out of a belief that a certain thing brought disappointment. If the thing happened, disappointment invariably followed. And I found that the only way that I could make change in the subconscious was by asserting. There are not two powers. There is only one power, God. Therefore, there are no disappointments. And this thing means a happy surprise. And I noticed a change at once, and happy surprises commenced coming my way. This is a great attitude to take, because we can sometimes think something is bad when in essence, when you line up your life, you realize it was actually a good thing that happened, that actually removed you out of the way of more harm, or actually put you in the right place at the right time to fulfill your destiny. So, okay, I'm going to read that one more time. There are not two powers. There is only one power, God. Therefore, there are no disappointments. And this thing means a happy surprise. So all of us have happy surprises coming the way. Okay, I have a friend who said nothing could induce her to walk under a ladder. And I said, if you're afraid, you're giving into the belief in two powers, good and evil instead of one. As God is absolute, there can be no opposing power unless man makes the false of evil for himself. To show you to believe in only one power, God, and that is there is no power or reality in evil, walk under the next ladder you see. Okay, so she's challenging her. Sometimes it's interesting how the flow of this, but anyway, if you're afraid, you are giving into the belief of two powers, good and evil instead of one. And as God is absolute, there can be no opposing power unless man makes the false of evil for himself. So to show that you believe in the only one power God, and that there is no power or reality in evil, walk under the next ladder you see. So soon after she went to the bank, and she wished to open her box in the safety deposit vault. And there stood a ladder on her pathway. It was impossible to reach the box without passing under the ladder. And she quailed with fear and turned back. She could not face the lion on her pathway. However, when she reached the streets, my words rang in her ears, and she decided to return and walk under it. And it was a big moment in her life, for ladders had held her in bondage for years. So she retraced her steps to the vault, and the ladder was no longer there. This so often happens. If one is willing to do a thing he is afraid to do, he does not have to. It is the law of non-resistance, which is so understood. So little understood. Okay, so, okay. We are heating up day 71, Momentum Challenge, heart and mind aligned. All you wonderful people. And I would love to hear which story maybe rang true. What might it be resonating for you? What might it be uplifting you to challenge and take a walk on the wild side, walk under the ladder, or maybe climb the ladder, or maybe do something that you don't ordinarily do. Take yourself out of bondage of whatever sort. Could even just be refraining from eating certain foods that you know are not good for you, or whatever. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. When you can, which would be now, hit that like and subscribe and leave your positive comments. I would love to know where you are at as we are going through the power of the word. What word are you speaking? All right. Thank you for joining me. And you know what's next? Peace in, peace out.